Still, Aliyu Wamakko remains my name from Sokoto North, Central District of Sokoto State. Mr. President, permit me to lead the debate on the general principles of the bill for an act to provide for the establishment of National Commission for Child Destitution in Nigeria, which I, along with 20 other senators, are sponsoring. The bill was first read on this chamber on Tuesday, 29 October 2019. Background of the bill. Essentially, the bill seeks to provide for an act to provide for the establishment of National Commission on Child Destitution in Nigeria to serve as intervention program to eradicate, rehabilitate, and prohibit the menace of child destitution in Nigeria. Mr. President, the need for an act to establish the commission cannot come at a better time. And it's also in accordance with Section 16, Section 1, 2D, and Section 17, Section 3, E and F, and Section 18 of 1999 Constitution as amended. We are living witness to the negative consequences of child destitution in our society, particularly over the last 10 years. The melody of child destitution in Nigeria has aggravated with the menace of Boko Haram, provided fodder for political violence and militancy, provided willing foot soldiers to ethno-religious crisis, and acted as catalyst to a variety of other social problems. Mr. President, we can only afford to look on while our society totters toward destructive tendencies, the result of destitute children who grow into adulthood with nothing to lose, even if society conflagrates. As the conscience of our democracy, we must ensure without equivocation that every child destitute grows into adulthood educated, ambitious, purposeful, and with a sense of belonging. These destitute children are out of school, and according to UNICEF, available UNICEF statistics, there are over 10.5 million out of school children in Nigeria. Of this number of children in the country, 60% are in the north. Are in the north. It is no wonder then that given the ecological problem of desertification and other rural-urban drift in the north, groups like the Boko Haram, keyless army of uneducated, hopeless, and rejected youth to recruit from. A 2014 special report of the United States Institute of Peace, USIP, titled "Why Do Youth Join Boko Haram?" State that surveys, interviews, and focus groups conducted in Nigeria in 2013 suggest that poverty, unemployment, illiteracy, and weak families structures make or contribute to making young men vulnerable to radicalization. Itinerant preachers capitalize on the situation by preaching an extreme version of religious teachings and conveying a narrative of the government as weak and corrupt. Armed groups such as Boko Haram can recruit and train youth for activities ranging from errand running to suicide bombings. Mr. President, an act to provide for the establishment of National Commission on Child Destitution would address the maladies associated with child destitution. The Commission shall have powers to draw up generally acceptable guidelines on how to eradicate child destitution, draw up an acceptable curriculum of activities for destitute children, disburse funds, and monitor proper utilization, and do anything which is, in the opinion of the Commission, necessary to ensure efficient performance of its functions under the Act. Objective of the bill. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the objective of the function of this Commission, which the bill seeks to address, are, among others: 1. Formulate policy guidelines and strategies for successful eradication of child destitution in Nigeria. 2, organize a mass sensitization campaign to enlighten the society on dangers of child destitution throughout Nigeria. 3, advise the federal government on funding and orderly exploitation of victims of child destitution. 4, identify and coordinate activities of stakeholders who are directly involved in the practice of all forms of institutionalized child destitution with a view to reforming it. 5, collect and prepare after consultation with state and local governments and other relevant stakeholders, periodic master plan for total eradication of child destitution in Nigeria, including areas of possible intervention in early childhood care and development centers. 6, recommend to the federal government the possibilities of co-opting identified destitute children into and centers into the federal government compulsory pre-universal basic education foundation. The Commission again will create an avenue for reputation and assessment in terms of educational institutions, empower in skills acquisition, etc. for these underprivileged children who find themselves in these unfortunate circumstances. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, other highlights of the bill includes the establishment of a maintenance of a fund by a commission which shall consist of 1, initial take-up grant from the federal government, 2, annual subvention from the government, 3, state counterpart funding to be deducted as source at 0.5% of the statutory allocation. 4, 1% of the education tax fund and the back fund. 5, subject to Section 12 of the Act, all other sums accruing to the Commission by way of grant and aid, gift, testamentary dispositions, endowment, and donations made to the Commission. And 6, such other sums as may accrue from time to time to the Commission. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the continued existence of this menace is fraught with attendant social, educational, economic, and legal implications for our society, some of which are as follows. 1, trafficking in children and exposing them to dangers of negative influence on the society. 2, contravening Child Labor Act by allowing these children to take to menial jobs, socially hostile environment to make a living. 3, contravening the constitutional provision of the federal government's compulsory pre-universal basic education to enable the children to become useful citizens to the nation. 4, destroying the moral side of these children by exposing them to negative influence of social vices. This makes them willing tools in the hands of prostitutes, robbers, drug peddlers, addicts, and other social miscreants, thereby aiding the number of criminals in our society, and contravention of relevant sections of the criminal and penal code. 5, exposing them to political violence and ready tools for mob action in the event of social arrests. 6, multiplying the number of unemployed and retarding the federal government drive for skill acquisition in the society. Mr. President, my dear colleagues, the Commission on Child Destitution cannot come at a better time than now, when our beloved nation is battling with one social crisis or another. I implore you to, in good conscience, appreciate the gravity of the situation and consider the bill for good of humanity and future generations. Relying with Order 76-73 of our standing rules or orders, financial compendium of the Commission is hereby attached. Finally, I pray for a speedy passage of this bill in the interest of our innocent children who, by no fault of their own, found themselves in a situation which require, of course, these two children. I so submit, Mr. President.
A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the National Commission for the Eradication of Child Destitution in Nigeria and for other matters connected there with 2022 second reading taken. And bill is referred to the Committee on Establishment and Public Service Matters for further legislative action to report by within 4 weeks.